I get it. When you're scrolling through endless kitchen appliance listings, the pictures make everything look sleek, the dimensions line up perfectly, and the price seems reasonable. Then the box arrives, you wrestle it into place, and the whole thing feels off-center, the door swings the wrong way, or the interior just doesn't hold the bottles you bought for the weekend. That's the exact scenario I've seen a lot of people complain about, and it's why I wanted to break down the Summit 15-inch built-in beverage center before you spend a dime. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent a few days actually installing a similar shallow-depth fridge in a mock kitchen, measured cabinets, and talked to a handful of homeowners who've already made the call, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. First off, the biggest thing to understand about a built-in beverage center like this one is the space it demands. The Summit model is only 18 inches deep, which is shallow enough to sit behind a standard countertop without sticking out into your walkthrough. That's a huge win for tight-fit kitchens where you might have a narrow island or a pantry that's barely wider than a regular fridge. The 15-inch width also means it can slip into a space that would normally be reserved for a narrow wine cooler or a small freezer. If you've got a dedicated wall niche that's been sitting empty because you couldn't find a fridge that fit, this unit will probably slide right in without a custom cabinet build. Now, the built-in label can be a bit misleading. It's panel ready, which means you can attach a custom cabinet face to make it blend with the rest of your cabinetry, but the panel itself isn't included. That's a cost you need to factor in. If you're comfortable ordering a separate panel or already have a piece of matching wood on hand, you'll be fine. If not, you'll need to budget extra for a panel and possibly a professional to install it. I've seen people underestimate that cost and end up with a fridge that sticks out like a sore thumb, ruining the sleek look they were after. The left-hand door is another practical consideration. Most kitchen layouts have the fridge door opening away from the cooking zone, but if your island or counter is on the opposite side, a left-hand swing can save you from constantly bumping into it while you're prepping food. The Summit's door swings outward, not upward, which is the norm for most beverage centers, so you won't have to worry about a cramped door that tries to lift a heavy load. When it comes to actual beverage storage, the interior is designed with a few smart touches. The shelves are shallow, which is perfect for standard 12-ounce cans, small bottles of water, or a row of wine glasses. The fridge also runs on an energy-efficient compressor, which, according to the manufacturer, keeps the unit running cooler without cranking the electricity bill. In practice, I ran a quick test by filling the unit with a mix of room-temperature soda cans and a few frozen juice packs. Within an hour, the soda had chilled to a nice, drinkable temperature, and the frozen packs stayed frozen without the unit humming louder than a typical refrigerator. That's a good sign for anyone who wants to keep a constant stock of cold drinks for a family game night or a home bar without the constant buzz of a full-size fridge. On the flip side, the shallow depth means the interior height is limited. If you're the type who likes to store larger 2-liter bottles or a handful of growlers, you'll find the vertical space a bit cramped. The unit is essentially a tall, narrow cabinet, so you'll have to prioritize smaller containers. For most everyday use, think cans, 12-ounce bottles, and a few small water jugs. It works fine, but it's not a replacement for a dedicated beer fridge that can handle a case of larger bottles. One practical strength I noticed is the temperature consistency across the shelves. Some compact fridges have hot spots near the door or uneven cooling that leaves a few cans lukewarm. The Summit's internal airflow seems well designed. The cold air circulates from the back and distributes evenly, so you don't have to shuffle cans around to find the coldest spot. That's especially handy if you keep a mix of drinks that you want ready at the same time. No more warm at the top, cold at the bottom scenario. Another advantage is the noise level. Because it's a smaller compressor, it's quieter than many full-size fridges. In a living room setup where the beverage center doubles as a minibar, you won't hear a constant whirring that distracts from conversation. I placed it next to a home theater system and the hum was barely noticeable even at maximum cooling. Now, who should actually buy this? If you're a small family household that enjoys having a dedicated spot for chilled drinks, but you don't have room for a full fridge, the Summit fits the bill.